The stars are brightly shining. It is the night over the Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appeared and a soul found its worth. A thrill of hope, the
listen carefully. Chinese are ruling the Chinese land. Japan is ruled by Japanese. England is governed by Englishmen. America is governed by Americans. So, Africa must be ruled by Africans. Oh, I wanna know who owns the land. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. We must rule our purpose land. I say, we want to know who owns the land. I want to know who owns the land. Hey, Papa's land. Papa's land. Papa's land. Angola wants to know who owns the land. Mozambique wants to know who owns the land. Namibia wants to know who owns the land. I say, Soweto wants to know who owns the land. Zimbabwe wants to know who owns the land. African freedom fighters want to know who owns the land. Papa's land. Now listen to the history. We've been here since creation. We've been here since creation. What a wonder. Since the time of sun and sun. Since the time of moon and stars. Since the time of air and sea. Since the time of men and things. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. I said we must rule our purpose land. Purpose land. Oh! Okay now I want to talk to my people. Ira Daniela, oh, I will know. Yeah, Ira Daniela, oh, I will know. Than ever. Now we are the crossroads. On the Femo, London. Feel better than ever. On the Femo, London. Oh, Palimu Maya Bera Baba. Yeah, oh, Palimu Jasu Yaraka. Oh, Palimu Zizanya Betonye.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's a wonderful day to be alive today. I'd like to welcome all of you who are joining this broadcast, a very, very special presentation from Ground Zero and all over the globe, Sub-Saharan Africa, for those of you who are tuning in by way of satellite. Again, it's a wonderful day to be alive and to be engaged in this struggle for freedom, struggle for the independence of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, or some like to call it the Southern Cameroons. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for those of you in Asia, in Canada, in the UK, in Europe, in the continental USA, in South America, including Brazil, Mexico, and you can name the rest. We know this is a Christmas season, and there's supposed to be festivities going on out there, especially on Ground Zero. Unfortunately, we are in one of those times in which no celebrations, or very minimal celebrations are taking place in homeland. But we all know what we are fighting for, and we can sacrifice today for tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who are joining by way of Facebook, please go ahead, quickly hit your share button. We got a house packed with a powerful panel to bring you a formal announcement on the case engaging La République du Cameroon, or let me say, the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, the people of Ambazonia versus La République du Cameroon. For many months now, the Ambazonia Team Ambazonia, or ARC, has been working on this case, and I guess many of you have been asking, what is going on? What is new? What are the developments? Today, I promise you, we will bring you those developments, and we hope that La République do listen to us today and to understand what lies ahead, what is coming. Every La République du Cameroon official out there in Yaoundé, wherever you find yourself, I hope that you are watching, and so you can grab exactly what lies ahead. Besides the action that we bring on ground zero, we are confronting this war from every direction, from every angle, and we will continue to do so until our independence is actually actualized. That is why we are doing this. So please go ahead, quickly get the platform populated, and while you do so, I'd like to bring in a few announcements, a few updates of what is going on ground zero in the next 5 minutes. But before I get there, I ask you to please remain seated and tighten your seat belt. It is a great day to be alive and to be part of this struggle for the actualization of independence. I'll be right back. All right, thanks for staying put in there, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I bring you very important announcement today, and the house is packed full with the men who have been behind this for the months past. Again, but before I take you there, let me bring you a few updates while you go ahead, hit your share button. For those of you who are joining, by the way, of Facebook, social media, let everybody out there know. Dumfoin Bohebed is here. Dr. Samuel Ekomesako is here. Barrister John Fruso is here. Barrister Tim Bese also, and Barrister Ghana Valentine. They are all here to bring you this very important announcement and to explain to you exactly what that means and what we should be expecting in the days ahead. So go ahead, you hit your share button while I bring you these updates here on the state of the struggle, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I just want to remind all of you out there that again, we have just a few days to go, for all of you who drafted to support your counties and your local government for those drafts to be redeemed. We have only a few days to go. Actually, today is the 24th, remaining 7 days for every dime drafted to be redeemed. If you drafted and you have not yet redeemed, you have very limited time to do so. I strongly appeal to you, please do so that we can empower the boys who are fighting on our behalf on ground zero, so they can know what they know how to do best. Pay your draft to your local government or to your county. I hear so much talk out there about firepower, the need for firepower on the ground. Without funds in the hands of the counties and the LGAs and of course the interim government, there can be no firepower. So please, the ball is in your court. For the many of you, there's so many of you out there who have not yet redeemed those drafts. It is painful to know that some counties that drafted 400,000, 200,000, 100,000 have not yet realized up to 60% of those drafts. If you can't pay your draft, if you can't pay your draft, I don't know how you expect any work, any firepower on ground zero. So please do so. But let me also speak to the counties and the LGA administrators out there. I will begin to ask every Ambazonian out there to begin to hold every LGA in county responsible for anything that goes on, that takes place on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, when we set out to launch these war drafts, we tried to do it a little bit different from what we did with my trip to Boya. The funds paid in for my trip to Boya were paid in directly to the central government. This time we thought the counties and the LGAs should take care of their own defense. And we asked that all the drafts be paid to the counties and to the LGAs. And so, in the few months or in the month or weeks to come, anything that takes place, that happens in your county, in your LGA, you should begin to call your LGA in your county leaders to account. They owe you firepower on the ground in your county and in your local government. So please, in the few weeks to come, I really would wish to see every Ambazonian out there, especially those of you who have honored or redeemed your draft. It is time that we begin to hold every county LGA administrator responsible if we do not find that firepower on ground zero. This is very, very important. If we pay our money, we should hold those responsible for that money accountable for the actions they take or do not take. This is very, very important. But in the meantime, please redeem your draft. Thank you. I hope we all do so. And then let me get to this other update here about the so-called military recruitment, commandos recruitment that La République du Cameroon is carrying out in our territory. La République du Cameroon a few weeks ago announced that about close to 2,000 of their fighters have defected or deserted their ranks in the battlefields of Amazonia. Now, last week, they launched a campaign to recruit more scouts. I call them scouts because they are not fit for an army. So last week they launched a recruitment campaign, and they are in Bamenda and in Boya trying to recruit men to go and fight their senseless war. Fellow Ambazonians, for those of you on ground zero, please listen to the sound of my voice. You do not want to risk your life for a useless war, a senseless war that involves the killing, the decimation of your towns and your cities in our territory. La République du Cameroon is running out of citizens, their own citizens, to prosecute this war, because thousands of them have been decimated in the battlefields in Amazonia. And now they come to you to recruit you. They will take you to their camps, quickly give you some elementary training for maybe 2 months or 3 months, then send you out to the battlefields, put you in the front lines, and you will be killed first before any Ewondo or Betty or Bulu or Bamileki or any francophone in that matter is killed first. So please, You Ambazonians, young men and young women out there, do not make the mistake of going out for that recruitment. You recruit, you are recruited, you are being recruited to die. That is exactly what it is. You go and give yourself for recruitment, you are being recruited to die. What we are doing is asking Ambazonian fighters within the ranks of the Cameroon army to desert, to defect, return home, walk away. This war is not what you fighting for a foreign country. So please, we're asking you, if La République du Cameroon thinks they are gaining grounds, I can assure you, because I am coming from within the circles, they are not gaining any grounds. They will not gain any grounds. We will overcome because we know what we have in store that is coming on ground zero. Please, please listen to me carefully. Ambazonians, do not step out to join the République du Cameroon recruitment exercise. They are recruiting you to send you to the front lines to go and die. Again, a word to a wise is enough. Now, on another subject now, the sealing of the shops in Bamenda. We have learned that the colonial mayor, who was never elected by the people of Ambazonia, is out there shutting down shops in Bamenda, And the goal is to make sure that ghost towns are sabotaged and the people do not respect it. I learned they are also trying to get all these shops owners whose shops have been sealed to join them in the protest march against ghost towns and lockdowns. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say this. The mayor, the colonial mayor of Bamenda, he is protected by a paid army on a daily basis. He vacated his own home, which was recently put on fire. He lives at the upstation Bamenda for security reasons. But he is out there trying to set up all of you to step out, show your faces, and then be targeted while ye and the other La République du Cameroon cronies are guarded with heavy machinery and you are exposed. I am encouraging you today, all of you, traders, shop owners in Bamenda, you rather prefer your shops to be sealed, locked down, than step out for any protest rally, because at the end of the day, you may be the one targeted, not those colonial mayors, not those colonial officials. Stay home and refuse to fall to their trap of trying to get you to step out and protest any ghost towns or lockdowns. Ghost towns will continue. Ghost towns will continue for as long as La République du Cameroon refuses to get to the negotiation table, for as long as there is no ceasefire in this senseless war called upon us by La République du Cameroon. So please do not take the risk of stepping out to take part in any rally, protest rally against lockdowns and ghost towns. Let those colonial administrators do it by themselves. Let them do it by themselves. After all, they have the military that protect them. They have the gendarmes. They have the police. They have everything that protects them. But you, the common man, you've got nothing to protect yourself with. So please stay home. Let them shut down your shops. Let's see for how long they can shut down your shops. And we have also added that, listen, nobody pays any dime or franc for taxes in the city of Bamenda. They better shut down your shops than get you to pay those damn taxes. All right, I hope you, all of you traders out there in Bamenda and all of Ambazonia, of course, get this. That is very, very important. Now to Boya. Listen to me carefully, gentlemen, everybody out there in Boya. I see the celebration of some so-called traffic lights in the city of Boya. Listen to me. We have received intelligence that those traffic lights in Boya have security cameras, spy cameras attached to them. They are not mere lights. There are security cameras on those lights, installed in those lights in the streets of Boya. So, when you go standing there trying to humiliate them or say derogatory stuff about them, know that you are on camera. Know that you are on camera on those lights. Again, those security lights installed, traffic lights installed in the city of Boya. We have now learned they have also security cameras, spy cameras installed alongside to track you, to monitor you in Boya, so they can, and they are doing it, as we have learned, so they can detect the activities, monitor everybody in view of their so-called Nations Cup that is coming up beginning 16th of January in Victoria. Remember, they have their practice field stadium in Boya, and they have their hotels lodging some of the visitors in Boya, all of Fako, of course. That is why they have spy cameras on those traffic lighting in Boya. Those of you in Boya, take particular note. Take particular note of this. And let me also mention that for the people who are in Le BLM, precisely Fontem LGA, I want to believe you all received the audio, the security audio that I sent out there early this morning, that the Popular Cameroon troops descended on Fontem in their numbers last night, and they are currently hiding in the bushes in the three villages of Takwe, Bensok, or they call it Esoha, and what is the other name? Takwe, Esoha, and Atoonget. These three places between Esoha, Takwe, and Atoonget, we have learned that they are hiding in the bushes there. If you are hiding anywhere in any of these three villages, we ask you please not to go out, not to step out for any celebration of Christmas, because they will arrest you and they may kill you. They are known for that. So please remain in your hiding until there is evidence they are out of these three communities. They are hiding in the bushes, and in fact, we also receive intelligence that they may stay in there for 8 days before they leave. In fact, they were seen today cooking their own food in one of the compounds they went and confiscated. They were seen cooking. If the military can move somewhere and instead of carrying food along with them, they are then cooking their own food, you know they are there to stay, ladies and gentlemen. So please, if you live in Esoha or Bensok, in Fontem LGA, or in Takwe and Tali, please remain where you are hiding. Do not step out. Do not step out, because they are out to hunt for you. They think that they are looking for the red dragons. But let me assure them, ladies and gentlemen, let me assure them, the field marshal and the rest of the red dragon, they are well equipped and brave enough to confront those guys. Again, listen to me. The field marshal and the red dragons, they are well equipped to confront those guys, and they are monitoring every inch of their activity and any of their movement. And I can assure them, some of them will surely leave those three villages and the bushes in body bags. I am very, very sure they will leave. Some of them will leave in body bags. I learned they are in the cocoa farms in these three villages of, again, Bensok or Esoha, Tali, and Antakwe, they are hiding in cocoa farms. All right, I hope you get these updates. I just wanted to bring this to you before we move on to the main subject of the day. If you have family or friends anywhere in the BLM or in these villages, please get them, make sure they get the news. Make sure they get the news. All right, in 1 minute, I will be right back to present to you the very, very special announcement of the day. Do not touch your remote. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for staying put in there. Again, this is a very, very special day to be alive and to be part of this struggle for the actualization of the independence of Amazonia. You will all recall that a few months ago, Team Amazonia came to you introducing the idea of taking Cameroon, La République du Cameroon, to the International Criminal Court for crimes, genocidal crimes, and crimes against humanity in this war, to the International Criminal Court. The team has been working on this case for quite a number of months now. Many of you have been wondering, where are we? Where is the case? Well, today you don't have to ask anymore. Today we bring you updates and details as to what the situation is. We, when I say we, I mean Team Amazonia, the ARC. They have finally concluded the files, and the files have now been moved to the International Criminal Court. Here to discuss this and to give us details of what you Amazonians should expect, what exactly the case is all about, who is indicted, and so on. Here to discuss this and to give us these details, ladies and gentlemen, I have a team of attorneys, Amazonian attorneys, who worked on the file and submitted, and of course the leaders, some of the leaders of Team Amazonia. I have with me in Tumfoin, Bo Herbert, who to do, I will invite Dr. Sako first. He will come in. He will come in to tell us, to tell you Ambazonians, what the main charges in this lawsuit are all about. But first of all, let me join in Tumfo Bo Herbert, who will, in the course of the broadcast, be doing some of the commentary with me. In Tumfo, it's a privilege to have you back on the set, sir. Good evening.
Always a pleasure, bro. And Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to our people back at home.
I hope you can hear me. All right. Itumfoin, I would like you to briefly tell Ambazonians why it took so long, because I know you were in the middle of this from day one. Why it has taken so long from the day we first announced this process. Why it took so long to get here today. Please, 1 minute.
Well, I would just say first that they have got all the right people on this panel to explain that to them. And that is the purpose of all of us being here today, that will understand both the complexities of this particular petition and why it took so much time to do. Good things take a lot of time to be done. This is a good thing. They will understand why shortly.
Okay, awesome. So thank you. I will now get to Dr. Sako to tell Ambazonians, what are the charges? What are the charges in this lawsuit, sir? Ambazonians want to know the specifics. What are you asking the International Criminal Court to do, Dr. Sako?
Yes, since we are here, thank you very much, people of Ambazonia. Thank you very much, Tumfo and Bo, and our wonderful team here present. I would like to leave that technical part to the lawyers who are here present. But I want to say that every time I've had opportunity to talk to diplomats and at any level, I have made them to understand that too many crimes have been committed against my people. And I don't know how many more have to be committed before the international community recommends a fact-finding mission on the ground to ascertain the perpetrators of these crimes and to bring them to book. We have witnessed the attitude of the international community, their attitude of looking away. And even when massacres are recorded in the camera and they are reported worldwide, they fall short of making that strong recommendation. We have taken an action, and I have made sure that I have communicated it even to the UN and to some other bodies to inform them that we have taken this action. And we hope that we force their hands to do the right thing. This action of ours aims at bringing to book every perpetrator of war crimes, of crimes against humanity, of genocide against our people. And we are forcing their hands to at least carry out an investigation of these massive atrocities that have been committed against our people. So I will leave the technical part to the lawyers. We took all this time for many, many reasons, because we needed to get it right. Because we knew that some other petitions have been submitted by some people. They were not received for certain reasons. We needed to take all those reasons into consideration so that we don't hit and miss It's better to get it late and get it right, um, than to hurry up and the petition is not accepted. This is a good day in Ambazonia, and we are going to hear more from the other panelists, my colleagues.
All right, all right. Let me then move to Barrister John. Barrister John, please. If I may ask, Ambazonians would love to know who are those indicted or being indicted or accused in this lawsuit against La République du Cameroon at the International Criminal Court, sir. And I will like Barrister Gana to also, if he can have an answer for that, I will get to you, sir. Barrister John.
Chris, thank you very much. Thank you for hosting this panel. We, the lawyers that you see and others that you have not seen, we have been working tirelessly for months. And on the 30th of November 2020, we filed an official criminal complaint to the International Court of Justice by DHL because of the constraints of COVID-19 that we all know. What did we do? We have been working tirelessly to identify all the accused persons, and I'd like to announce that there are 93 in number, and we have gotten all that into the complaint, and each of them, the role they have played to perpetrate genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity against our people. Before I give you the answer to who are those accused or the men accused, I would like to give you just a little bit of the genocide that has been committed on our people. You have the Ngabu genocide. We have the Pinyin genocide. We have the gruesome genocide in Bali, where after killing our people, they pour chemicals, prohibited chemicals on them and burn them. We have the Babanki Kumbo massacre. We have the Ekata massacre. We have the Papua massacre. We have a lot of them that were perpetrated on our people. So we have exposed all that to the court, and we have filed this complaint to who? To the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court. And the court, this complaint will allow her to evaluate, and if it is credible, she will open an investigation, or she will send it to the Security Council for referral, or she will do whatever the law allows her to do to cause an investigation to be carried out. We have not only targeted La République du Cameroon, we have also targeted the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Why? Because on the 5th of January 2018, the Nigerian government kidnapped our people who were asylum seekers and refugees in Nigeria, detained them for about 20 days, and on the 25th of January 2018, same year, they deported them back to Cameroon, back to Yaoundé, in violation of an international convention on the protection of refugees and asylum seekers of 1951. That is a war crime. That is a crime, a serious crime, a serious violation of international law. Secondly, the Ngabu massacre was Nigeria was involved because of his Fulani militia that left Nigeria and joined the Cameroon army to massacre more than 35 people in Ngabu, our citizens, our children, our pregnant mothers and our people were slaughtered on that day in Gabu. And not only that, Nigeria has been attempting to give Cameroon authorities the possibility of taking our refugees in refugee camps back to Cameroon, either to be killed or to be tried. All that we have taken into consideration, therefore we have tied Nigeria and Cameroon together in this complaint. We know, we as lawyers, we know that Cameroon has not ratified the Rome Statute. But Nigeria is a state party to the Rome Statute. So Nigeria is acting as the principal accuser, and Cameroon acting as a principal accomplice. And all its military, political, intelligence, and political officials have been earmarked by us, and they are 93 from both countries. For the case of Cameroon, you have, of course, Mr. Paul Biya, who is the commander-in-chief, who gives all the commands and who declared the war. And of course, you have the governors of the Northern Zone and Southern Zone. Of course, you have some generals in Kabale, Aga Robinson, who was there before him. You have a Congress Divine, and one commissioner of police, Francophone, they call it Neil somebody. I cannot give you all the names. And alongside of that, those who have been executing this war and giving command, control, the control and command on the ground for what is taking place on the ground. You would want to know, Chris, that the massacres are not just committed, they have committed following instructions and command from both the political and military and intelligence officials of La République du Cameroun. So we have identified them. Not only that, we have also identified some journalists who were acting as accomplices. You remember in the Rwanda massacre, you heard about Rado Mekolin. We have an equivalent of Rado Mekolin in Cameroon called Vision Cat. One of their journalists, Obama Ernest, went on the air and asked Cameroon government to eradicate all Anglophones because Paul Biya has the power to do it. And not only that, you have their colleagues like Jean Zé and their manager and their boss, Belenga Amudu Belenga. Not only that, we have Mr. Icha Churuma, who was the government spokesman and minister of communication. Even though he's no longer, I'm coming to his replacement. This man called Icha Churuma Bakari quelled most of the massacres that we are talking about. He was a propagandist. He told all kinds of lies. He made all kinds of declarations. Even when our people were deported from Nigeria against international law, he is the one who announced that they have arrived in Yaoundé. He has a lot of answers, a lot of questions to answer. Of course, his replacement, René Sadi, and of course, the general manager of CRTV, the national television station, who has been at the forefront of putting out false narratives about all the massacres that have been committed. Of course, the list is very long, Chris. You have some colonels like Emil Bankpi, who has been at the background assassinating our people. You have those that are running the detention centers in Boya, where our people have been arrested and killed. Chris, that list is 93. That is, I will call Mr. Barikabana Ghana if he has some more to add from what I have just said. But that is to answer the question, who are the main accusers in the case? You have Buhari and Paul Biya at the top. And of course, the rest of their political and military intelligence people who were involved, who have been involved in this massacre that has taken place in our territory, the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, the Southern Cameroon. So Barrister Ghana can now take over and assist me if I left something out.
Barrister John, I will get to Barrister Ghana. Barrister Ghana, you were part of those who drafted this case. In the same line with Barrister John, can you expand on the list of those being indicted here, other than the state? And do you have enough evidence for the International Criminal Court to bring them in there? Barrister Ghana, please.
Thank you, Comrade Chris, for the great work that you do for our struggle. Thanks to Bo Herbert, to Barrister John Frunso, to Barrister Mbese, and to all the other lawyers who worked on this case. As an Ambazonian and as a lawyer, I'm very proud with what we have accomplished. I'm very proud of us putting the knowledge that God has blessed us with into action towards the service of our people. And yes, as Barrister John Frunso very well articulated, we have put in painstaking hours for months, done our job judiciously. And as he said, the initial list is 93. That doesn't mean that the list is exhaustive. The list is continuing. And we are continuing to document the crimes that are being committed against our people. And as Barrister John said, genocide crimes, crimes against humanity, and war crimes that are continuously being perpetuated against the people of Ambazonia. As you ask if we have substantive evidence to back up the charges which have been submitted to the International Criminal Court, I have to state that we have been blessed with a team of very fine lawyers and barristers who have extensive experience with international criminal law, who have experience in international institutions, who have painstakingly taken the time to establish the rightful jurisdiction which these crimes fall under with the International Criminal Court, who have painstakingly looked at other countries which have jurisdiction over these crimes. The whole team, as we've stated, including Bo Herbert and all the lawyers, we have worked judiciously to catalog and establish the substantive evidence that backs this crime. And the list of people who are accused of these war crimes, genocide, and crimes against humanity being committed against the people of Ambazonia start with the top of the Republic of Cameroon, Paul Bivondo Bia, even Buhari, as he said, and everybody in the chain of command, everybody who has command and control over the thugs, over the criminals, over the genocidal forces that are murdering, that are raping, that are burning villages, that are committing all kinds of unspeakable, heinous crimes against our people. So we have taken level-headed time to catalog all of these crimes, as Barrister John said. We've cataloged the Ngabu massacre, the Santa massacre, the Pinyin massacre, the Kwakwa massacre, all of the massacres. We've detailed specific incidents that happened, such as the murder of baby Martha in Moyuka, that was done by La Republique troops who unloaded 12 bullets into the brains of an infant. So there is I mean, it's about a 140-page complaint that has been filed. And yes, we have submitted substantive evidence to back up all the charges. I mean, the whole of Ambazonia is a crime scene. And sometimes when criminals go commit crimes, they don't know what is left behind. They don't know what has been documented. We have a documentation of all of that. For example, the case of the La République soldier who went and kidnapped students from PSS Nkwen. I think his last name is Beng, and they tried to accuse Amber Boys of that crime, but we were able to have picture documented evidence of that La République soldier on the crime scene, and all of that has been submitted to the International Criminal Court, establishing the rightful jurisdiction. So the wheel of justice grinds slowly, but it grinds surely. And as Barrister John said, this is just the beginning. The work of this very brilliant panel of lawyers, some who are here and some who are not here, is continuing, is extensive. And just like the criminals under World War II, the Nazi criminals were chased around the globe, there is not going to be any hiding places for all of these genocidal criminals, whether it's Paul Biya, whether it's René Sadi, whether it's Laurent Esso, whether it's Valenka, whether it's Emile Bankwi, all of those in the chain of command. We have details of soldiers at the prison in Boya who are taking out Ambazonians in the middle of the night and killing them. They think that they might go scot-free. The wheels of justice are grinding towards them, and they will be held criminally responsible in the right jurisdictions for their crimes. Thank you.
And may I add the Kumba massacre? The children that were killed in that secondary school in Kumba, they feature very prominently on this complaint.
Correct.
And Barrister Mbesa is also, in fact, we were very lucky to have an experienced person like Barrister Mbesa, who had worked in Abidjan during the crisis in Côte d'Ivoire, and he was very, very, very technically very important for this team of lawyers. And I pay homage to my senior colleague for being part of this endeavor. And he is on the panel. If he has something to add, he will add. Chris, are you there with us?
Barrister Timothy Mbesha, are you here?
I think there might be a technical problem.
Yeah, it looks like we don't have Chris connected, but maybe I can just step in here if it is working. If you can hear me,
yes,
everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm suspecting that Chris may have gone on mute in studio.
Okay, Itofon, can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now 5 on 5.
Okay, sorry about that. I was kind of muted. I didn't realize that. But I was saying that this lawsuit was initiated by Team Ambazonia. And Ambazonians would love to know, have you received any formal acknowledgement of the filing of this suit from the ICC? Tumfoin.
Let me answer that, Chris.
All right.
Yes, I personally filed using DHL on Monday, the 30th of November. And on the 2nd of December, I tracked the filing right up to the court. The court has received it. What is going to take some time for the court to respond to us, because they have to go through what is in the package. They have to analyze what is there and then get back to us. For now, we have officially filed this matter with the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court in The Hague.
All right, let me get back to Tumfoin Mohabed, because I know he has a lot of light to throw in in there and on other subjects already discussed. Please come in and add what you can, please.
Yeah, I think here, Chris, that one of the main things is just for us to get some of our terminology right here so our people are not confused as to what has happened. As our lawyers have explained, a petition has been filed. So it's not an indictment, it is a complaint. And the way the court works, and again, I speak under control of the lawyers who are on the panel, the way the court works is that they will receive this information. They will establish if there's reasonable cause to believe that the crimes alleged have happened. Then they will proceed with a preliminary investigation. They will decide to open a preliminary investigation if that's what they decide to do. And when they complete that process of a preliminary investigation, they will then again return to the court, and the prosecutor will have to decide before a panel of judges whether she seeks permission to launch a formal investigation or that she goes before the Security Council to ask the Security Council to grant her permission to launch that formal complaint. So she's got two choices here. One, to go directly on the basis of, the panel of judges giving her permission to do that with a preliminary, or go through the Security Council. What I can just applaud is the detailed work that the lawyers did, the fact that they painstakingly went through everything, and the fact that what has been listed here, and our people, those of our people on the ground who are listening to us today should know that your contribution in all of the details that you have reported about these atrocities, in all the documented evidence of videos and photographs, that has been a huge contribution to this complaint, to this petition. And we urge you to continue to do that and to continue to supply that evidence, to continue to make sure that your loved ones who are dead, who have been raped, who are suffering at this moment, who are in jails, that they do not suffer for nothing. Every crime scene that you come upon, document it as much as possible, share that information with us, delete it from your phone. We don't want you to get in trouble, because we will continue to work on this petition up to and including the moment when everything is filed and when the case opens. So this is not a closed complaint. This is a living petition that we will continue to update, we will continue to complement, we will continue to add evidence to. So even as you're hearing us now, if you have evidence at your level, make it available to us. And when you document evidence, if you happen upon a scene of a crime scene, make sure that when you get out your camera and you're filming, that you're telling everyone, I am right here in Boya, and you can see this is Moliko, Lycée Moliko, and if I pan around to my left, this is the crime scene, this is what happened. Don't make sure that you establish the situation where you are, that this is effectively happening in Ambazonia. Document the date when those things happen. Send us the information as quickly as possible, because we continue to work on this case up to the time when the criminals are brought into court and our lawyers prosecute this matter.
All right. Now, let me ask this. This is very, very important, because you people understand the importance of jurisdiction in this case. And you all know that La Republic is not a signatory to the Rome Treaty. So people are asking, how do you bring La Republic to the ICC when they are not signatory to that treaty? I will allow the lawyers take these. Let me start with Barrister Ghana, please. Barrister Ghana, let's do this. Let's do this. Hold on a second. Barrister Bisa is back with us, and I can see him here. Let me forward that question to him. Barrister Bisa, sorry we missed you a short while ago. Thank God you were able to log back in. But this is a question. Everybody knows that La République is not a signatory. It's not a signatory to the Rome Treaty. So the question arises on the jurisdictional issues. How do you get them to the ICC under this circumstance?
Thank you, sir. Are you getting me?
Yes, 5 on 5.
Okay, this is the point. I think, thank you very much. Before we got into this case at this level, we looked back and discovered that from 2017, at least as per our own records, there have been 3 petitions filed before the same ICC. Sisikuku filed one, October 26, 2017. Akerimona filed one, September 17, 2017. And then one Leonard and another group filed one. Nothing was done, presumably because of jurisdiction. So we consider jurisdiction very, very important. And one might want to know why. You see, as you say, the wheels of justice are very, very slow. But international justice is also very, very legalistic. They don't just do things the way that you and me want them to do. So we looked at jurisdiction. Cameroon not being a state party to the Rome Treaty, it is almost impossible for them to be brought in directly before the court. Before I get there are only 3 ways using the ICC by which someone can be brought to court. 1, when a state party refers the matter to them. 2, when the Security Council makes a referral. And 3, when the prosecutor on his or her own initiative discovers that something serious has happened and then brings in an action. In our own case, we looked at it legally and were able to find a loophole. Yes, Cameroon is not a state party, but Nigeria, our neighbor, is a state party to the Rome Treaty. And we found precedent that the court has held that if a crime is committed or started or continues in a state party, they are going to intervene. That's the rationale under which we brought in Nigeria, and we have emphasized so much on Nigeria for several reasons. The bulk of our refugees are in Nigeria. Nigeria is actively prosecuting some of them. And as Mr. Johnson said, they have participated in the crimes by catching our people, sending them to jail, sending them back to Cameroon, and they've been sentenced even to life jail. Therefore, they are active participants in the crime that we are complaining about. That is as far as the jurisdiction is concerned. Before I go further, let me try to emphasize something. The crimes against humanity and all these war crimes are legally imprescriptible. There's no time limit. There's no time limit saying that has passed 10, 20 years. No. They're ever. Even the children of poor Bia will face the charges if they are still alive. So, it is slow, but it is coming. It will take time. It is coming. And let me just add this. We sitting there as lawyers, we did not just consider the issue of the ICC. No, we took a 3-pronged approach. The ICC is only one of the several avenues we have to bring justice to bear on these issues. We looked at another arm, which is called universal jurisdiction. That is, without even being a member of the ICC, some countries decide to prosecute those offenses on their own merit, notwithstanding the ICC. So we are looking at it. We are filing to the universal jurisdiction. We're selecting at least 10 countries that have assumed those jurisdictions to file there. Secondly, the second prong, we discovered that this very international community, that is the United Nations itself, has provided some other avenues. For example, there is a special rapporteur for genocide, special representative of the Secretary General for genocide. Directly, we can put in an application to them, and we are putting one. Secondly, we can and we should, and we are going to put in application directly to the Security Council. And thirdly, there is the International Human Rights Commission in Geneva, the UN organ. We are putting in another application there. Why these three units? Why? Why do you need all of them? We need all of them because they are part of the United Nations. At least this week, we heard the Security Council talking. If they cannot do anything directly by themselves, their voices can add to cause a referral. Even if the referral does not come, the fact that the United Nations is speaking, the United Nations Security Council is talking about this case, will take us a long way ahead. For Ambazonians, rest assured, it's a question of time. We, the lawyers in this thing, we are not paid lawyers, so we are not going to be tired. We ourselves are victims. At least nearly every one of us has tasted it directly or indirectly. A friend, a brother, a sister of ours has suffered this thing. So there's no way we are not going to do it. There's no hiding space for all those people. The people like the Hisson Abre, they were brought to trial after 12 years when they left office. And many others, it takes 20 years. But rest assured, we have examined the jurisdiction. We believe we have done our best. We believe we'll be able to overcome. I looked at the petition that was filed by ICC. It was a 2-page petition. I looked at what Akere Mona filed on behalf of us alleging genocide. It's a 2-page petition. Ours is very, very comprehensive. And may I add and give praises to those who manage what we call the genocide, the Ambazonian Genocide Library. It is comprehensive. It is very, very intense. We encourage them to continue doing it. We don't know. There might be other Ambazonians who have other connections, who have other websites, who have other libraries that deal with this genocide. Let us have everything together. If you have them, send them to us. We'll exploit everything possible. So that's as far as jurisdiction is concerned. I think I will answer others as time goes on.
All right. Thank you. Barrister Ghana, is there anything you would like to add? Any of you, the lawyers, anything you would like to add on this jurisdictional question?
Yes, Barrister Mesa has really articulated the question of jurisdiction, and I mean, he's given all the prongs of it and all the angles that we painstakingly looked at it towards establishing jurisdiction by the ICC over this case. And just to add that when Barrister Mbesa talks about universal jurisdiction, we have precedents that go to qualify this case under universal jurisdiction. He mentioned the case of Hissin Habre, who was arrested and tried in Senegal. There's the case of Pinochet, a Chilean ex-former leader who was arrested in England and tried under Spanish universal jurisdiction. So there are a lot of precedents that we have listed justifying the court's jurisdiction over this case. With regards to the ICC, consistent with the fact that some of these crimes started in Nigeria, and the Nigerian government and its political, military, and intelligence officials participated in these crimes. For example, the abduction of our leaders from the Nera Hotel and the unlawful and forceful repatriation of them to Cameroon against international laws and covenants. And given the fact that that crime was continuing right to Cameroon, the arrest of Ambazonians in Taraba by Nigerian intelligence, again political and military officials, and the forceful repatriation of them to Cameroon against international law, and some of those who were repatriated to Cameroon are still in jail, seven times for crimes they did not commit, and some of them are missing given the fact that these crimes started in Nigeria, a country that is a signatory of the Rome Statute and continued into Cameroon. The ICC has precedents, and consistent with its articles in the Rome Statute and the Convention of 1949. And if you go into the Rome Statute, you can find specific articles in Article 15, Article 9, Article 6, Article 7, Article 8. There are a lot of articles under the Rome Statute that establish this jurisdiction. And we have precedents going back to the case of the Rohingya case that firmly established jurisdiction over the ICC. So again, a mountain of thanks to Bo Herbert, to all the parties of act that came together, provided resources, provided time, worked painstakingly to make this case very airtight, that is going to be taken over by the ICC, and all of these people who are listed and more that are coming, more that will be added onto this list. In fact, we are already in the process of adding more. And with all the volumes and volumes of substantive evidence, both real evidence, pictures, videos, communiques by the government of La République du Cameroon, with all the volume of material that we have provided in this petition to the ICC, we are very certain that the ICC will be opening an investigation into this case.
Brother Chris,
right.
But I
Yes,
I would like to come in
please.
here on the issue of jurisdiction, just so I can push the lawyers to discuss two other aspects of jurisdiction here, which they carefully considered. There's the part that some of these crimes, like the Ngabu crime, is being pursued today with Mr. Biya and his regime using scapegoats, flat feet who do not have any, who were just executing orders, and they're trying to use those scapegoats to themselves avoid the fact that they gave the orders both for the war and for the ongoing genocide, and that they grant immunity to these people from persecution. That's the high ups that cannot escape persecution and would need to go before the ICC. That's one aspect. And the second aspect will be the fact that we have both the crime of genocide and the crime of apartheid, which are universal jurisdictions. I'd like the lawyers perhaps to touch on that quickly, so that our people are also informed of this part of the jurisdiction that the court has over this matter, and that Cameroon cannot escape by mere fact of not being a signatory to the Rome Treaty.
All right. We will come back. I'd like us to take a brief break out. When we come back, I am going to ask all of you, after filing the case, what next? What are the steps that you are expecting the International Criminal Court to take after you fight the lawsuit? Don't go away. I'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me get back to the lawyers here. You file a lawsuit, you expect the court to respond in a certain manner. The question is, what next do you expect from the International Criminal Court? What are your expectations? I mean, rather than just an acknowledgement. Let's assume they've acknowledged it because you've done your due diligence. What next do you expect they should do? Let me go to Barrister John, please.
Yes, Chris, thank you very much. We expect the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court to indicate to us that our complaint is receivable and that she will act on it. Act on it means what? She will now begin her own part of the job, open an investigation, preliminary investigation, and if there is credible evidence that these crimes have been committed, she will now open an official investigation by issuing warrants of arrest for people to be interrogated or sending investigators on the ground. Whatever she wants to do to get to the truth of the matter. That is what we are expecting. We have treated the issue of jurisdiction very, very detailedly, and with the work we have done, she will have no choice but to indicate to us that this file is receivable. It has been received, and she's acting on it. That is what we are expecting. After that, the chips will fall where they have to fall, Chris. If after the investigation and preliminary and an official investigation, we will expect that some people will start being arrested. Having said that, Chris, we have also, like my colleagues have said, especially Barrister Bessa, we have initiated and we're still working on filing in 10 countries where there is universal jurisdiction. Any of those people mentioned in the complaint, and of course, it's continuing. We may even get more than 93, but so far it's 93. Any of them stepping foot in any of those countries where there is universal jurisdiction and where we have filed, and they are acting on it, those people will be picked up. But now, we are still working on filing in all the 10 countries, beginning with Norway, Denmark, Belgium, and Canada. And then go on down the line. There are more than 10 countries where you have.
So if I got you right, what you are saying is you are not only filing this lawsuit at the ICC, you are also going into individual countries and filing the same lawsuit. Am I correct?
And you are very correct. That is what I am saying. And these countries we have chosen only 10. There are more than 10.
And what is the target? What is the target in these countries? What do you hope to achieve filing lawsuits there?
The target is that.
Let me try to explain, Mr. So,
all right, Bisa, please.
Gentlemen, the idea of universal jurisdiction is built on the idea, the general principle, that no perpetrator of heinous acts can escape liability for whatever reason. And so there are countries that have assumed that jurisdiction to prosecute those things, either because those very laws are found in their own local laws, or sometimes they just amend their own legislation and put it there. Maybe many people don't understand what universal jurisdiction means. It means that the US, for example, they have universal jurisdiction in the US. They could indict the Cameroonian government, and try him in the United States for crimes that were committed somewhere else. But the principle that guides it is this: we should still asking for help from our own people. Very often, it is very, very advisable and easier for us to have residents, our own Ambazonian residents of those jurisdictions, who will join us as co-complainants. For example, there's some who have a number of boys, 1 or 2, say in Canada or Belgium, and so on. This is what happened in the universal jurisdiction thing. The Pinochet thing, for example, Pinochet was head of state. According to Chilean law, they could not prosecute him. They had ruled and ended. He was immune. But the Spanish judge and the Belgian judge indicted him in Belgium and Spain. based on the complaints that were given there by Chileans who had escaped to those two countries. They said, okay, even though these offenses were committed in Chile, we have the right to try these people, to try this guy. The same thing happened with Hissène Habré. He had ruled Chad from 1982 to 1990 or something like that, and left power. He had his government, his regime had committed a lot of crimes. Some of the people fled to Senegal, others fled to Belgium. And so there were the crime. The case of those in Belgium say, okay, we'll try him based on this complaint we have here. That's why we're assuming the relation, even though it is not in our country. We'll try him. But he was not in Belgium, he was in Senegal. They said, Senegal, send us this guy to us for trial, or you try him. Because there's always an option. And then the Senegalese say, well, we don't even have this law in our books. We cannot try him because he's living here. We have him in our jurisdiction, but we don't have the laws. They say, well, then if you don't have the law, send him to us to try him. Because Hissène Habré was the head of state, these people were embarrassed, they didn't know what to do. They went to the African Union and said, this is the former head of state. What do we do? Do we try him? What do we do? We don't have the law. The African Union said, okay, we would allow you to amend your criminal code and include genocide and those laws. But then, because he was the head of state, we are going to create a special tribunal to try Hissène Habré. A tribunal made of Senegalese judges and judges appointed by the African Union. That's what they did. That duration was assumed. He was tried in Senegal and sentenced to life. So that is what universal jurisdiction means. There are so many countries in the world that have that. Common among them, as Mr. Ansara said, is Spain, is Canada, and the Nordic countries. So we are trying to file those applications there. We need the help of some of our own residents in those specific countries. Because can you just sit here in America and say and write a complaint to Belgium? Say go and prosecute this guy. Like we here, we go to Congress.
All right, I think we lost Barrister Lee there. The camera was frozen. Okay, I think he is back.
I get him.
You are frozen. Let me get to. Intumfoin. Bo Herbert out there. Intumfoin, there is the question of these other lawsuits in different countries, being filed in different countries. I know they have talked about Belgium, London, USA, in fact, all of the European Union and Canada, and so on. How effective would that be, arraigning or indicting any of French Cameroon ministers in any of these countries? What is your understanding how that works, sir?
This is a very effective way of making sure that the criminals do not have anywhere to go. Because if you have a situation where, while the ICC is still considering the matter, are still, doing preliminary studies, and these people can roam around the world very freely, then you really have not gotten them to start feeling the consequences of the crimes that they are committing. The expansion, and here I like to join the lawyers, I'm sure Comrade Sako will want to come in here and appeal to our people, specifically in these countries, to make sure that they can reach us and give us the opportunity for them to join the case. Now, do not just come to us because you think that this is an opportunity for you to jump in on the case. If we don't know your credentials before, we will not take the risk of putting you as a co-complainant on this case. So if you have been with us in this revolution and we know your track record for the stuff you've been doing and we can trust you, our lawyers can trust you, please submit your availability to join Team Ambazonia in tabling those petitions before the other jurisdiction, which is what Barrister Mbesha was saying a moment ago. But again, I would say the more complaints that are deposited, the more countries that are targeted, the less limited opportunities these criminals will have to go anywhere else in the world. They will have to lock themselves up in the prison that they have created called Cameroon until the moment when they are picked up and brought before the ICC at The Hague. But again, I was going to let Comrade Sako make the appeal to our people, and I think it is an appeal that the moment has come to be made.
All right, thank you. Let me get to Dr. Sako there. I will add another question to that. Mr. President, you have very much initiated the armed aspect of this, the self-defense aspect of this struggle. Now, when you initiate a lawsuit, what becomes of the place of an armed struggle? Does it intensify, or do you hold back, kind of call a ceasefire, or both will be working side by side, Mr. President?
Yes, thank you, Secretary Chris. War is legal. There's not every act of war is legal. So that's why we have war crimes. They did not say war itself is a crime. It is a legal act to fight and defend yourself. We will do that and do it as much as it lies in our power, better and better. But as you know, the sword of justice is a two-edged sword. When we make these petitions and the ICC decides to launch an official investigation, they will investigate everything. And it is from their reports that indictment will be carried out. So, Amazonia, we will not stop defending ourselves. We are going to do it responsibly. We are going to do it according to the law that governs the prosecution of war efforts. Investigations are coming. Prosecutions are coming. Arrests are coming. Some people will end up in the nets of the law. This puts all of us on notice. I cannot pretend to know that we should go back to the reason why we started this war, to prosecute the war by defending ourselves and our people and our property against legitimate threats against the enemy. So if we limit ourselves to what is legal within the war, we will not have problems. And this is also putting on notice the enemy to know that they will not prosecute this war with impunity. They should know that every act of theirs is being recorded, and that one day, however this war ends, or even before it ends, we will all answer questions on how we prosecuted this war, whether every act that we carried out that can be traced back to us was done legally or criminally. So I hope that some people will, even those who are being sent, like soldiers who are being ordered by La Republique to carry out criminal acts, they should know that if indicted, it will not just be the direct perpetrator, but those that ordered them to will be charged. But primarily, you that carried out the act, you will be found whether by the local law or by the international law. So that's how to understand what is happening right now.
Now, Mr. President, talking about prosecution in this ICC case, we all understand that in this struggle there are groups that have carried out killings on the ground. I think all of you here can confirm that. What is going to happen to these groups? Are they subject to prosecution too, like officials of La République du Cameroon government?
This has nothing to do with any group. It has something to do with the crimes that have been reported with evidence that these crimes have been committed. The purpose of investigation is to ascertain responsibility. So we cannot say this person or this person. Even an accused remains innocent until proven guilty. But the purpose of this, the evidences were provided is enough to bring in the court to carry out investigation. And this is the investigation that will lead to indictment or prosecution. That's all I can say. I'm not trying to talk for the lawyers. They are right here. I'm sure they will say it better than me.
Thank you. Maybe the lawyers want to come in there and add something. Any of you?
Yes, Chris, let me add something. You know, at the beginning of our self-defense, a lot of us lawyers worked tirelessly to advise the DSS to inform our fighters on the ground about the Geneva Convention, the respect of the rules of engagement of any war that will not lead to war crimes or crimes against humanity or genocide. We did that, and it's working very, very well. But I also want to say that when this list that were presented to the ICC is not exhaustive, they will carry out an investigation by themselves, and they may discover among the groups, some of the groups that are calling themselves Amazonian groups, that there are also war criminals among them. That will not be again in our take, it will be the court. The fact of the matter is that an investigation will be opened on everybody involved in this war, or who has been a proxy to this war.
Okay.
I don't want to call names, and I'm not going to call names. We have not included any names that will compromise us, but we are saying that the court will carry out a diligent investigation, and some people who today run around and call themselves whatever in the Amazonian struggle may be caught in the web. We are not going to waste our time talking about who is who and who is who. The investigation will tell us.
All right. Barrister Ghana, anything to add there? I think we lost Barrister Base, who was trying to say something. Barrister Ghana, please.
Yes, just to add first to what the president said, that the fact that we have filed this suit does not mean that the militant and forceful prosecution of our struggle through war ends. Our restoration forces on the ground are still charged forcefully with the mission to defend our territory and to liberate our territory towards regaining our total sovereignty. You have to remember that this war was not started by Ambazonians. This war was declared unto Ambazonians by the criminal and brutal dictator, Mr. Biya. And so, under international law, under human norms, under the laws on every jurisdiction, we Ambazonians have the right to self-defense. And La République thought it was going to take them 3 weeks to crush us. Our restoration forces have demonstrated that we are up to the task. And so our restoration forces should not get this as a signal for them to lay down their weapons. They should continue to fight. They should continue they should consider every La Republique troop in our territory an enemy combatant, right for being pushed out by force out of our territory or being neutralized. Again, following the rules of war, which lawyer John Frunso has said that our HSS has worked hard to educate our forces on the ground on the rules of war. But to also add to the issue of those who are going to be prosecuted, a lot of the people, the 93 people who have been indicted or who have been listed in this complaint, in terms of legal rules, again, we have established the issue of jurisdiction. We have the complainants are arrived. We have established the evidence. And what is evidence in law? Evidence is something that makes the matter being asserted more likely than not. We have provided sufficient evidence, and it's like getting all of these 93 individuals listed: Mr. Bia, Rene Sadi, Laurent Esso, Mbaga Ngwele, all of them. It's like putting them in a room and throwing axes in the sky, putting them in a dark room and throwing axes on the sky. Those axes will fall. It might just be time, and they will slowly but surely be landing on them one after another. And if they do travel to any of these countries which we talked about, universal jurisdiction, they are going to be arrested. Another precedent that I want to add to what the brilliant lawyer said is the case of a Liberian warlord who committed a lot of war crimes. His name is Kosir. He thought he went scot-free. Today he's under trial in Switzerland under universal jurisdiction. So these people are going to be tried, and the laws of universal jurisdiction, the laws of the International Convention of 1949, the laws of the Rome Statute are going to pursue them, but we should not relent in our forceful prosecution of the war.
Okay. Itumfoin, let me get to you in the description of the crimes that are being sued in this case. You describe one of them as crimes of apartheid. What do you mean by crimes of apartheid? Itumfoin Bohebet, please.
Yeah, just before I go there, just before I answer your specific question, two quick things. Number one is that what our lawyers have said and how it applies to our own restoration forces is that it is important for them to continue to prosecute this war in legal ways. They have heard very clearly from Comrade Sako say, war is legal. It is only war crimes that are not. So please, if you have not taken the course yet on international humanitarian law, let us know so we can help you to get through that course. If you are fighting today, remember that you are fighting under those Geneva Conventions and that you cannot commit war crimes. So it does not matter that we are fighting in defense of our freedom and of our independence. We must also abide by those rules. Do not copy the wrong example that is being set by La République du Cameroun forces, because those La République du Cameroun forces will not find where to hide. That's the one point I wanted to be clear about. The second point, before I come to your question, Comrade Chris, is to make sure that our people understand who these criminals are beyond the top names that have been mentioned several times by the lawyers. So when they walk around in our community, they know who these criminals are. If you are a colonial so-called senior divisional officer, you are on this complaint because of your command responsibility, because of those soldiers, gendarmes, police that you command. If you are running a brigade of gendarmerie, if you are a senior superintendent of police commanding forces in Ambazonia, you are on this complaint. If you are one of those cut loose CPDM criminals who think they can go out and kill people, who think they can take their charge to Ndonga Mantong and kill everyone, who think they can mobilize militia and take them into Ngabu, people like Gerard Ngala, you know you are on this complaint. If you are one of them going around today and oiling yourself with the blood of goats in the streets of Boya, and you think you are getting away, we just put you on our books. So all of these people who think they have a license to kill and they have a license to do it with impunity, you are not going to get away with it. And we are going to be documenting on an ongoing basis. We will not let you go. Now, let me turn to the question that was asked, which is the crime of apartheid. The crime of apartheid was formally banned the same way that the crime of genocide is banned. And when that ban happened, they indicated that there were forms of apartheid. So it was not just apartheid as described in South Africa. And I would like to recall to the people of Ambazonia that apartheid in South Africa consisted of holding a people on the basis of their race as a sub-people, as second-class citizens, as people undeserving of a number of social, economic, political rights, financial rights as well, of people who would live in restricted areas, whose development will be dependent on a minority white group making the decisions on their behalf. That is essentially the crime of apartheid. That crime is committed on a daily basis in Ambazonia, has been committed for the last 60 years. And this is how it has been perpetrated. What La République du Cameroon today calls the Northwest and the Southwest, by virtue of destruction of the state, the independent state of Southern Cameroon, was to build the equivalent of a Bantustan for the people of Ambazonia and to restrict them to that area, and to determine that those people are second-class citizens undeserving of a certain number of social, economic, financial, and political rights. And today, they make that crime even worse by indicating that it is only by special status that they will provide you perhaps what they consider equivalent, and it is not even equivalent rights, to their Francophone dominant majority. The difference between South Africa and Ambazonia is just that it was the minority white population using a colonial mentality imposing the white supremacy over the black people of South Africa. In the case of Ambazonia, it is a majority French-speaking, French-dominated political class and people who believe that their majority should be the one that determines the lives and the fate and the destiny of the people of Ambazonia. It is a crime of apartheid. It is a crime of distinction on the basis of language. In South Africa, it was on the basis of race, but it does not make it any less a crime. And so that is one of the crimes that is being brought against La République du Cameroon. And again, just one clear explanation so there's no confusion, and so La République doesn't go out there and start celebrating that you cannot sue the country. We did not sue La République du Cameroon. We did not bring a complaint, a petition against La République du Cameroon. We brought a complaint against individuals for their specific act, not the state. And so when we talk about La République du Cameroon, it is because it is attached to Mr. Biya, like Mr. Biya is attached to Mr. Macron in France. So that's a clarification I think our people deserve to know before someone starts confusing them.
Okay. Now, I think you and Dr. Sako are the two competent people to answer this other question. But let me start with Mr. President.
Just before that, Mr. Anu, can you give me a second, please?
Okay, Barsambesa, go on, please.
This is what I was trying to say. You see, like, too far I just said, there's something in this law called cultural genocide. If you attempt to eliminate a people's culture, that's cultural genocide. Paul Biya himself admitting that they've been trying to assimilate these people for over 50 years. That's admittance of genocide by itself. Then, something that maybe people do not understand. As Tumfo said, we don't indict the country, we indict individuals. The responsibility of the country is that as a country, you are supposed to administer law and order within that territory that you belong to. So if crimes are committed in Cameroon, or in Ghana, or in China, or in the US, the government of that place is supposed to take action against the criminals. That is why the ICC has only secondary jurisdiction, because the primary jurisdiction goes to the country, the territory where the crime is committed. But they don't always punish the people. And for this thing to work, the ICC, for example, does not have a police force to go around catching people. They investigate. If they are indicted, it is what they call a sealed indictment. Because if you let it out, people will never be available. How do they investigate? This is how it works. Don't expect to see an ICC agent on the floor, on the ground, with a badge on his skin. Say, I'm ICC, because nobody, in fact, they will not even give him a visa. When the government knows that it's coming to investigate Chiroma or Atanganji, they will not give you a visa. They have their own ways of doing it, and they are very, very perfect in that. They have people on the ground right now among those civil human rights reporters. They have them. They have evidence. So when someone is indicted, it is generally under a sealed indictment. You don't even know it yourself until they have the opportunity to arrest you, like it happened with the late president of the Sudan. He goes to South Africa. They say, well, we have an arrest for you. He tries to run away. Because if you say you have indicted him, he will not go out. You don't expect Paul Biya, for example, to catch a Tanganji or Issa Chirima and send to us, or send to the Hague. They will never do it. So the ICC and these criminal people, they have a very strict way of doing it. You might not see it. You have asked the question, how do we know whether they are investigating or not? There are 2 ways or 3 ways that we will know. If they write to us and acknowledging that they have received our complaint, they could outright say, okay, it is not admissible, or they could simply keep quiet. If they say, we have received your complaint, nothing more, it means they are looking at it. It means they are looking at it.
Okay.
So that's how
All right.
it goes.
And yeah, if you don't mind, Secretary Chris, let me state something. That an additional advantage of submitting this petition to the International Criminal Court and filing these complaints in all of the countries that adhere to universal jurisdiction is that some of these top brass officers in the Cameroon army, in the ministers, and you name it, aspire to serve in continental and international bodies. By filing these specific complaints against these specific individuals, it turns them and makes them poison towards being appointed to serve in these international bodies with complaints of genocide, crimes against humanity being on their head. So I just wanted to make that point, that filing this petition while the ICC is looking at it will have an effect of making these officers know that their acts will not go unpunishable, whether it's short-term, barring them from being appointed to any of these international bodies, or becoming part of Cameroon diplomatic missions abroad. Because if they travel to a lot of these countries that have universal jurisdiction, even aside from the ICC, they are likely going to be arrested. And just to add, South Africa, a prominent country on the African continent, is a country that also has universal jurisdiction.
Okay, all right. Let me get to Dr. Sako there. Mr. President, and I would like Intumfine to come in here because you guys initiated this lawsuit. From the onset, you had some expatriate lawyers, American lawyers, initiating the process. Are they still part of the litigation?
Yes, thank you for the question. For now, no. We made that determination in the middle of this process. and I would like to keep it short. So we have decided to file this ourselves, and if by any means, when it gets to the point of litigation, we so decide, we reserve the right to use their services or the services of any competent law firm when it comes to that when it gets to that point. So that is where we are now. Well, we started with them, but we are no more working. We did not work with them. We are no more working with them as at this time, and that is how it will be for now until something changes. We will inform Amazonians.
All right. I will ask one more question, then I will bring in Ntumfoin to answer this. Then I hope you guys have like a few more minutes, maybe 15 minutes to spare for Amazonians to ask you a few questions in their minds. I think this is very, very important. But Ntumfoin, if I may ask you, and let me start with Dr. Sako here. What do you expect from Ambazonians? What help do you expect from Ambazonians in this lawsuit?
Yes, the first thing is, as we know, the war crimes that we are cataloging, the perpetrators that we are targeting will be a growing. We hope that it doesn't continue, but it's supposed to be an ongoing thing. As long as this war remains, we are going to be cataloging such atrocities and adding these names to the court wherever we are filed. So it is it's not going to be for a it is not going to it's not going to be for even those the list we have today will surely increase if La Republic does not change their attitude. If the actors and other criminal actors on the ground don't change their attitude, atrocities continue to be committed, we will continue to document and add to our petition. So, what next? We know that the court will proceed according to its procedures, and people will be indicted. Investigation will be ordered, and some people will be arrested. So
how about the financial aspect of this suit?
For the financial aspect of it, I want first of all the people to help us by giving us this information, constantly helping us to document. We know that some universities are helping us to document, but the primary sources of information that leads to that we may consider viable evidence will come from our people. We are trying to educate them to know how to document these evidences properly so that they can be acceptable. And also from the financial side, they should get ready for the legal fight, because this is a legal front. We are going to fight this war with everything and nothing. The legal front is necessary, just like the diplomatic front that is going on, just as the ground zero that we have decided to do everything we can within our power to increase the firepower on the ground. But we are expecting that they will make some contributions. There are some groups that are people who already came together. We are by this announcement notifying them that we have made significant progress, and that the efforts have just been launched effectively, and that we will need their contributions going forward, so that we don't jeopardize the funds that are supposed to go for the ground zero, for our diplomacy, because of the low legal efforts we are making around the world. So we really need those who can give a little more to stand by, because we are going to need you on a commitment basis, on a person-to-person commitment basis, to ensure that we don't at any point lack what we need to hold these criminals responsible for the pain they have inflicted on our people, and so on. And we also need those people who can also participate by giving their names, their addresses, their contacts, and be part of the lawsuit as co-complainants. We need them from around the world, from all the countries that have this open jurisdiction. We are going to publish the list on APC, and we hope that if you're a country coordinator and one of the influential ambassadors over there, make sure you contact your country coordinator. Let us know you. Let us vet you and quickly get your name on the list as a local complainant, or to partner with us in these efforts. So that's what we will need from Ambazonians. And many, I'm very glad many are already on board, and we are encouraging others to see the need for us to start holding these people accountable right now, while they are still committing these crimes, so that the rate of impunity will reduce.
All right, into point, let me get to you, and after you, I will open the phone lines again for a few questions from Ground Zero. Before you call, please make sure the volume of your set is turned down before you call. Again, not just from Ground Zero, but of course, like to give a lot of preferences to Ground Zero, but you can call from anywhere. I will put the number on the screen. Before you call, if you are listening to your set, please turn the volume down, because I won't pick your call if you are having noise in your background. Make sure before you call, turn down the volume of your set. Into point, quite a number of universities have taken interest in this war. In England, in California, in Canada, Toronto, universities are taking data, recording data of the genocidal crimes being committed in this war by forces belonging to La République du Cameroon. Have you, in ARC, reached out to these groups to see of what help they can be to this lawsuit?
Yeah, thank you very much, Comrade Chris. On this particular lawsuit, I will say no, in the sense that we have not worked in a coordinated manner, but we worked with them on, helping them get them up to speed. So personally, I talked with the university in South California to get them up to speed with respect to what our case is, what the background is, what the crimes are. And so they have started off their database. Oxford, of course, we know, initially worked on research that was going to Parliament in Britain. There's also a research arm in the Congress of the United States that is working on issues with regard to this war. And Canada specifically has been very clear that the purpose is to make sure that no impunity will be allowed, that no one will enjoy immunity after they commit these crimes. So I would like to say that going forward, the big point of information will be Ambazonians on ground zero, people who are witnessing these crimes, people whose loved ones are killed and raped and tortured and sequestrated and disappeared. You will be the prime people furnishing that information. We guarantee you that we will keep you anonymous. We will make sure that we protect you. If you feel that you are a witness to a major crime, for instance, in Gabu, we know in Kumba, people who have information, we urge you to contact us, because there's a witness protection program that we will start to make sure that we can provide as much protection to you as possible and try and get you out of there. So you are in a place where you can provide testimony, but also to record that testimony. So our team has that, and they have processed it. They have put it forward to the ICC and other jurisdictions. The big things to avoid is that, and we tried to do this with the law firm which we retained initially, is that the people of Ambazonia cannot wait forever for a lawsuit to start. These crimes are being perpetrated on our people right now. They are on a wide scale, they are on a systematic basis, and our job is to make sure that we cut the line, we go to the courts as quickly as possible. We cannot have a situation like the one in Nigeria, where the ICC was only announcing about 3 weeks ago that after more than a decade, they have now finally decided that they are going to investigate crimes against humanity in Nigeria. We need quickly to accelerate this process so the people of Ambazonia are not waiting for a decade. We also know that there is an international conspiracy against the people of Ambazonia and against our independence, which did not start today. In the 1950s and in the early 1960s, we saw a process within the international community where they behaved as if they did not understand what the people of Ambazonia needed. They behaved as if our people were against independence, and they forced down our people's throats an option that consisted of recolonizing them. We can see that again even this week, because the United Nations Human Rights Commissioner, Michelle Bachelet, went out on television this week and requested that the United Nations investigators should have access to the northern region of Tigray in Ethiopia, where a war started only on the 4th of November. She has already requested that access precisely for investigating crimes against humanity. And we are putting the international community on notice through this petition that we know about this conspiracy, and they will no longer hide. They will not say that we did not bring a complaint before them. And so I encourage the people of Ambazonia to understand that if we are also going to provide this, prevent these criminals from traveling around the world as if nothing had happened, then we have to activate these cases in the 10 jurisdictions. I can tell you that no lawyer, no expert, no Ambazonian leader working on this case has been paid a single dollar. And I can tell you the number of hours they have worked on this matter. They are not looking to be paid, none of them. But we are going to have to deal with the bills that come from us tackling 10, 11 jurisdictions across the world, making sure that lawyers in those jurisdictions join Ambazonians. So please be on standby to join this big effort to make sure that the criminals of the Republic of Cameroon are brought to book. If you have lost a loved one, this case is for you. If you have not lost a loved one, this case is for you. And please remember that when we establish that these crimes have been committed, we will then sue for material damages, for compensation, for reparations, both for your families or your communities and yourselves. So please do not stay out of this case. We want you to be party to it. You are indeed party to it because this case is being done on behalf of the people of Ambazonia. So consider that you have your own case before the ICC and do everything you need to do to make sure that you can contribute to bring success to these proceedings before the ICC and before other jurisdictions.
Chris,
Chris, can I add something, Chris?
All right, Barrister John, go on, please.
Yes, I am calling on Ambazonian lawyers, even on ground zero, to join us because this is our case. These heinous crimes are being committed on our people, and you represent some of the victims in ground zero. We will have to develop a situation where we will protect you, and if you want to join us, you know how to get to me, you know how to get to Barrister Mbesa, you know how to get to Barrister Ghana, you know how to get to Bo Herbert, and of course, you know how to get to the President of the Federal Republic of Amazonia to make your intentions known that you need to join us in this fight. The lawyers on ground zero, we will have to vet you because some of you are compromised. I keep using that word. We will vet you before we take you into this case, but we are waiting for you to indicate your interest. Thank you very much.
All right, Barrister John, Barrister Ghana, please, briefly, so we can get to the phone calls.
Yes. to our dear and brave people on ground zero, I just want to also enlighten them on the list of people on this petition, that when they are looking at people who are going to be facing charges, they are not just limited to military personnel or government officials. We are also looking at people in corporations in Cameroon. In fact, some of them are already listed in this complaint, heads of agencies or organizations or institutions like MTN, like Orange, like Nextel, who are foreigners, head of all of these corporations who participated and who continue to participate in shutting down the internet services in Ambazonia so that troops of La République du Cameroon can handle their gruesome and heinous crimes. So if you are associated with any of these corporations and you have evidence pertaining to these acts that were carried out in shutting the internet, we need that evidence so that we can beef up the evidence that is at the ICC. So thank you.
All right, all right. That was a great presentation there, ladies and gentlemen. The phone lines are open wherever you are. The calls are not limited to ground zero. If you are in the diaspora, you can call the number on your screen. You can call the number on your screen for any question that you may have to ask our panel of lawyers and the leaders here who got this whole thing together. Now, let me get to the first caller here. Oh, hello, sir.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
I'm calling from Ground Zero.
Which county on ground zero?
I'm calling from Nizam County.
Okay, thank you for calling. What is in your mind, sir?
First of all, I want to say kudos to all of you in the studio, especially to our able president, Dr. Seko. And
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go on, please. Then there's a network problem. Yes, go on, please. Go on. I'm hearing you.
yes, when you introduced that our case had been tabled to the ICC, and I wondered, now that they have not yet received, and you know that we are fighting but France, who is using La République in a proxy, don't you see the French trying to distort all the evidence that was put before the ICC? You know them for their crookery and forgery and bribery. What do you think now that the case has not yet been received, like Barrister Fu said that he sent it through a DHL? Don't you see France coming in? Because you know that as we are fighting, we always say that we'll fight to the last man standing. All of you know that the French too will fight to their last battle standing, not to lose this territory they have as their bread basket. Don't you see them coming to distort everything to, let our case to frustrate us before this ICC?
All right, thank you. I got your question. Let me have the lawyers take your question. But let me correct one thing. Barrister John did not say they have not received. They have received, but they are still to act upon it. But I will let them in a few seconds. Barrister John, I see you nodding your head. You want to say something there, please? Thanks for the call.
Let me answer the question very succinctly. One, that file has been received. Number two, we are dealing with a court, an international criminal court for that matter. France is not mentioned anywhere, and France will not, if they intervene I don't know how they're going to do it because that's a credible court. And if we know the chief prosecutor of that court is an African woman, and she's a very, very, very legalistic and up-to-date legal mind. So we are confident that France cannot interfere in this matter in the ICC. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Barrister John. Let me get to the next caller. Let me get here to the next caller. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening.
Good evening.
This is Cyprian calling from.
Thank you. Good evening. Calling from where?
Yes, sir. From Germany. From Germany.
Okay. What is your question, sir, or comment?
Yes, I just want to give a contribution, not really a question. I want to first of all thank all the panelists, our president, Dr. Sako, and senior comrade Bohebe, and all our lawyers. I want to thank them for this great work because for me, I think it's a great achievement just to put together all this evidence and every documentation, and it got to the level of filing. For me, it's a great achievement that we, the Ambazonians, we are very proud of you people. Now, my question I want to call here is, there is one guy, he's called Barrister Tumazam. I want to call our panelists and our lawyers to be very careful with this man because for me, I think this man is an agent of La République. I see his post on Facebook and all the rest. He's an agent for La République. So our lawyers should be very careful not to include such a person into the lawsuit because he's not going to work for our advantage.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
I see his post on Facebook. He writes like he is doing it for La République. All his argument, he is giving La République argument against us. So it's like he's a lawyer for La République pretending that he is for Ambazonian. If you go on his page, you will see it. He is writing there. If you go there, you will see what I'm talking about. For me, I look at him as a man to be very careful with him. That's
all right. Thanks for the call. I guess the lawyers heard you. I don't know if they have anything to say. Any of you have something to say there, please? Thanks for the call.
I was trying to say that the caller should know that we don't recruit lawyers from the streets. Even if the lawyer joins us, his ideas are not going just to prevail because he's a lawyer. No. What we filed is an agreement between the lawyers who sat on the table. So Tumasa or anybody else, we know there are thousands of other lawyers who are really Ambazonians, but who don't postulate for us. We know them very, very well. So rest assured, if a lawyer came on board, we welcome the lawyer, but his or her own ideas are not bound to prevail. That's sure of it.
And we have to bet any lawyer that wants to join this case. A serious betting. Very serious betting. I want to assure Ambazonians that we will not take just any lawyer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me get to the next caller who is reaching us from ground zero. Hello, sir.
Secretary Chris.
Yes, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
I'm calling from Fako, from Boya.
Okay, and what is your contribution?
Well, I don't have much to say. All I just want to say, I have been watching your program online. I'm online from the start. I'm very happy with what the lawyer, the legal practitioner, what they say, the Barrister John, and Barrister Ghana. I'm happy for what they said they are working on the case. So, but I will not forget that you people, the interim government, should put more support on ground, because we need to put more support on ground to make sure that we achieve our goals.
Okay, I guess you were calling to say you need more support on the ground besides the lawsuit, correct?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because Mr. Mbia think that we are still playing on this matter. So that's why they are going around making all these fake election, regional council election or whatsoever. You think that we are playing around. So you need to make them understand that we are really serious.
Okay, thank you for the call. I guess the president may want to say something there. Thanks for the call.
Yes, we are not ignorant of the fact that these people resorted to these massacres and killings as an act of cowardice. That is one thing, because they know where our forces are. In many cases, they don't go there. Then they come and attack innocent villagers, destroy their crops, burn their foodstuff, shoot them, kill them, burn their houses, and go away. I know that firepower is all we are thinking of 99% right now, to tell you the truth. But I will not be ignorant to think that even firepower will stop this criminal behavior of these our occupiers, because there will always be villages where our boys are not around and they are somewhere, and then they drive in there and they come and commit atrocities. Those who are ordering them to do these things and those who are committing these acts must know that we are going to hold them almost on an immediate basis responsible for what they do. So as far as what concerns firepower and is our present phase that we are mobilizing for, to make sure we push the enemy completely out of our territory. But we want to make sure that while we are doing that judiciously, we must make sure that all criminal behaviors of just walking to our homes, taking innocent people, shooting them like game on the street, and setting up criminal gangs in the name of vigilantes and killing people, they must know that they will be held accountable at this time.
All right, thank you. Let's get to the next caller here, calling from Ground Zero still. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello, Secretary Keys. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from the northern zone, specifically from the Mezam County.
Okay. What is your contribution?
Yes, what I want to say is this. I want to know, how is Nigeria being indicted? Is Nigeria being indicted individually as the case of Cameroon, or is the country indicted in entirety? And if that's the case, how is the arrestation going to look like?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. I will let the lawyers take care of that. Barrister Mbisa, let me come to you, please. Can you take this? How is Nigeria being indicted? The same as La Republique do Cameroon?
No, we don't indict countries. We indict individuals. So Nigeria is not being indicted. The people who took action in Nigeria, the president, their commanders, and the intelligence officials are the ones who are complaining against. The ICC does not indict countries. No, it indicts individuals within that country, because the country signs or ratifies the agreement, the treaty, on behalf of the people. So again, correct yourself, we don't indict countries, we indict individuals who are resident there, who have committed the offenses.
That's it.
Thank you. Do you get me?
Yes. Chris, you are Chris.
Yeah, I'm calling from
Hello, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ground Zero.
Okay, where precisely on Ground Zero? Which county?
Momo County.
Okay, wonderful. What is your contribution, sir?
I have some few questions to ask. Please pardon me. I would like to ask, because I've been hearing this for a very long time, how people have been complaining. So I would like to know more about this, my trip to Boya. And the second question is, I've not been hearing from Field Marshal for a very long time now. So what is happening?
What do you need to know about Field Marshal?
Because I've not been hearing about his fight. I don't know if he's still alive, or I don't know about his whereabouts right now. Before, I always hear about Field Marshal, but now I don't hear anything about him again.
Oh, okay. Don't be worried. Fimache is alive and strong, but this is the wrong show to ask the question. Thanks for the call. All right, let me get to the next caller here, ladies and gentlemen. Steve from Ground Zero. Oh, we lost that caller there. Let's see who else. It's on the line. All right, I have no other caller here. Ladies and
Chris,
gentlemen, I will say...
Chris, may I just add something, please?
Yes, please.
Yeah, there was a caller, I think 3 callers ago, who said something about the fact that France is going to do all it can to frustrate our efforts at the ICC. I just want to state that we have a very brilliant set of lawyers, and though we haven't said a lot about France, it is not because we don't have concerns about France, but we looked at the angle of France critically enough to know what to include and what not to include in the petition. So I know we haven't said about France, and I said a lot about France, and there are a lot of listeners who might be wondering why we haven't said that. But I'm not going to give a lot of details on that strategic move, but I just want to let our callers know that we did detailed considerations about France, and we took strategic steps on what we included in the petition.
Okay, thank you. Let's get the last question for the day. Hello, sir.
Yes, Secretary Chris, this is Pastor Victor calling from Houston, Texas.
Good to hear your voice calling from my backyard, sir. Good evening.
Yes, thank you. I want to thank the president and the entire panel of barristers of the Amazonian people. And I want to say thank you all so much. The Lord bless you for the great work you are doing. I was going to ask, do we really necessarily need to receive or get lawyers from Ground Zero? I believe that we have great lawyers abroad, especially people working in similar situations like this. I know Barrister Taku, who is working, I think, with the United Nations or something. But I think in Rwanda, I don't know. But the last time I met him in Washington, D.C., he was handling the genocide. Can we bring men like that in instead of even trying to look on Ground Zero? Because we don't want our lawyers down there to be targeted. I think preserving them for some other time will be better. And let's use those who are abroad, whose lives will not be at risk if the regime around there know that they're involved in the case. That would just be my proposal, and to see if you guys can reach out to Barrister Taku. Thank you.
Thank you for the call, sir. I guess I will let our lawyers handle that. I will let the lawyers handle that. Barrister Ghana, I hear you. I see you talking. Please go on.
Yes, the other barristers might have something to say, and great questions and great suggestions which the caller made. I just want to let him know that the angle of Barrister Taku was considered, and for strategic reasons, we would not want to discuss it on this show. So the other lawyers can add a thing or two about that.
Okay,
yes,
the other lawyers, please.
I'd like
to
say,
add something there.
Yes, let me add.
Talking?
Mr. Ambessa, go ahead.
Okay, I was trying to say that our lawyers on Ground Zero, they have a technical job to do. For example, the ICC is secondary. In other words, take for example the Ngarebo issue. They can remember me and say, yeah, it happened. We're going to punish these people. So that when the ICC shows up, they say, no, we'll punish the guys. Our lawyers on Ground Zero, who are the technicians in the law, would know that these guys were charged. If I thought they were charged, they will know what crime they were charged for, which is not related to what we're talking about. But a lot of people will do all that to cover up. Like, for example, if you go to Cameroon, on their records, they show that Sissoko have been jailed. But where was the trial? So our lawyers on the ground, we need them. They don't need to come and sit here and talk with us, but they have a lot of work to do. There are all these people in Boya, where some of them are representing them while they're in prison or in Bamenda or wherever they are. They know those facts. They can give us. We don't expect them to wear their robes and come and sit here with us. No. But they have a technical job to play. And as Mr. Ghana said, we have looked at every possible avenue. We have consulted with Mr. Tapu, we have consulted with other lawyers. So rest assured, we have not left any stone unturned. Thank you.
All right, Barrister John, briefly, please. We're running out of time here.
And to add to that, Chris, there is a case now going on in the military tribunal in Yaoundé on the Ngabo massacre. And they have just presented three individuals. The commanders are not there. The political leaders are not there. The Fulanis that came from wherever they came, from Nigeria, and joined them to conduct that heinous crime were not there. So those lawyers are punishing me with vital information as to what is going on. They have made objections as to the accused, that all the accused are not in court. Therefore, like Barrister Mesa said, those lawyers on the ground have a job to do for us. That is the type of way that we are looking at to work with our lawyers on the ground. I cannot pretend that we can protect them, but we will get vital information, and they too will give us a lot of technical advice on what to do.
All right, thank you. I will give the last word to Ntumfoin Bohebed and Dr. Sako. Ntumfoin, please go on.
Well, just a very quick point with respect to what we were saying with regard to those of our lawyer brothers and sisters who work for international organizations or who are in situations where they cannot join this team. This team considered very carefully what the situation was, and we reached the conclusion, which Lawyer Mpesha was saying a moment ago, we reached the conclusion that we could not involve all of them. And precisely we decided not to involve some of them, despite their competence, because of their ongoing work, and because we consider that at this point and until such a point where they are freedom to engage in private practice, that we are not going to pull them into this. So it's not ignoring competence that is there. It is making sure that the lawyers that are on board are lawyers who are in private practice at this moment, who potentially do not have a conflict of interest and who can pursue this matter without having to look over their back because they are also on paycheck for another organization. So that is informing our decisions going forward. And since this is my last word, what other better last word to say than to say to these lawyers that you've provided, in my opinion, to the people of Ambazonia and to the heroes who fight on the ground and to the ones who have given their lives, the best Christmas gift in laying this petition before the ICC and announcing it on this divine night to the people of Ambazonia. So thank you very much. Our work is still ahead of us. So I'm delighted that this team is together and working together. And I think the people of Ambazonia should be encouraged and to pray on this night that as deliverance came to us, deliverance from our sins came to us thanks to the birth of Christ this night, that deliverance for the people of Ambazonia and independence for our people will come to us thanks to the actions being announced tonight, on this divine night, on this silent night when the Lord came to us. And thank you very much. Merry Christmas to everyone.
All right, thank you, Ntumfoin. This couldn't have been, there couldn't have been a better day for a gift like this one. And for that, I will let the President, Dr. Sako, please give us your last word for tonight.
I want to say thank you to all this wonderful team. Ntumfoin Bo, wonderful brother, When he speaks, I hear the voice or the echoes of Bobby Augustine. So this is our time. We are playing their roles, and I appreciate you for that. I want to appreciate the legal team for everything you have done, and those who are working in the shadows. Ground one, ground zero, we don't want to put you in harm's way. Whatever bullet we can take, we are ready to take so that you can be spared. You have taken enough bullets. But we are going to need witnesses from the ground. Be very smart. And anyone who is hearing my voice, and you have the access and you know what to do, you have the capability, please make sure that eventually at every opportunity you are able to record, do so. Record and be safe, and make sure that we have some evidence for everything that is happening that's going wrong. You have lost a loved one, you have lost a village, you have lost a house or property. This is a time. It looks like a this is like we all of us coming together and holding the perpetrators accountable. So make sure you give us your contribution. Make your contribution to make this effort a success. Comment 2 point said that this is a Christmas gift to us. Yes, and he ended with Merry Christmas. But this will be a bitter Christmas for some people. Not that the pain begins immediately, but a constant reminder that doom is on their way, that they are not all going away with impunity, that the day of reckoning will come sooner than later. And I want to tell all those people who think that we are rats and they have called us dogs, and they have said that they have the right to determine the life of Ambazonians, whether to live or not. And they keep us and they celebrate, sometimes in camera, and they are rejoicing to know that we have your evidence and we have started this course. We are not going to relent until the law will give us justice. So thank you very much. This is an ongoing effort. We know those of you who can just chip in, make sure that when we make our call, you respond in time. The lawyers are making their sacrifices with their brains. We are strategizing as leaders, and you are giving what you have. Let us all put our hands together and hold La Republic accountable. I will rejoice the day that Atanganji, I don't know about you, that Atanganji will be in chains, his hands cuffed behind him, and he's asking questions. They tell him where to go and where to enter. And then he has to answer questions for the orders that he gave, for the vigilante group that he created to kill people and murder us like game. So we have to do this because this is the only this is what we have as a peaceful people. We can do it. So let's do it. Thank you very much, and I'm counting on you.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. It was a pleasure to host all of you here. Thank you, Intumfoin Bo Herbert. Thank you, Barrister John, and thank you, of course, Barrister Ghana and Barrister Timothy Mbise. I hope we will continue this discussion and continue to educate Ambazonians as to what the role they got to play. I wish I could take many more callers, but unfortunately, the time isn't there. You have received it. You have gotten the announcement. Team Ambazonia, the people of Ambazonia have formally sued La République du Cameroon and its government officials at the International Criminal Court, and other suits are also going to be filed in countries in Europe, in the USA, in North America, I'm talking about Canada, so that every La République du Cameroon government official traveling anywhere has to answer to the crimes, the genocidal crimes they have committed in the course of this war. Amazonians, I hope you will support this initiative. Let's take justice. I have always said there can be no peace without justice. And I think this is just part of it, and all of us must support it. Thank you all for tuning in. I look forward to being back with you on Monday by God's grace. Please remain strong, courageous, and resilient. We will make it. We will make it. God bless you all. Good night.
Binda, Paul Kapunda, président Benjamin Mouteba, Jean-Sébastien Massiala, Jacques Banza Mujinga, Sokat Kapengene. Bienvenue, Chirac Mozo. Président Olivier Perrière. Dedos Moussani, Maître Tsimba, Maria Al Capone, Yves Caponda.
be the financial instrument that provides a hedge against inflation, 100% guarantees that you will not lose your money, has tax-free growth and distribution, the ability to take an interest-free loan, avoids probate, provides creditor protection, guarantees your family that your income will be replaced should you die, helps you protect yourself financially against chronic, critical, and terminal illness, and of course allows you to take money anytime for any reason at any age without a tax penalty. You need only as little as $50 to invest per month. Contact Irene Fombo. Tell 513-5014-177 or send an email to irenenpmsn@gmail.com. You need